Hello everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching and listening right now in the podcast. Today is Friday, January the 16th, 2026. I'm here to speak about another missing person. For this case is very rare. This is in regards to somebody who was dropped off, at a hospital, and he has not been seen since. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to everybody who has been following me on Spotify. If you're listening right now, watching this video on Spotify, I'm going to ask you to please follow JulissaDesigns podcast. It helps me as a creator. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share, and like. Also, if anybody's listening using Apple Podcasts, you can follow the podcast there. So, it's so crazy that in the age of technology that we live in, right, where everything is being tracked, everything that you do, right? I always come here and tell you sometimes you go to a store, you walk around, you don't buy anything, and then you come home and you open your email and there's an ad, right? You open your internet browser and there is an ad of an item that you might have stopped to look but not really purchase anything. Even it could be an ad even for that store. And what I notice is sometimes now, even on the television, they come out, right? One thing is a coincidence, but when they happen so often, like, are you serious? How do they know, right? And it's just that our phones, right? We always carry our phones. They're tracking everything to our phones, right? And there's a camera everywhere. So it's so hard to, when I come here and talk to you guys about a case of a missing person. Um, yesterday I spoke about a missing elderly person with dementia with Alzheimer's, and now I'm gonna talk to you guys about another rare case, like I said. And what I was saying is hard. That people still go missing, especially adults, because there's so much cameras everywhere. There's so much technology, very advanced technology, and it's just it's very it's crazy. But it says here a man entered a hospital and disappeared. Out of all places, a hospital. But the moment you walk in, you have to sign in. They need to know what floor you're going, who are you visiting. um and every patient that goes into a hospital to get treatment, they get the wristband, right? Every employee at a hospital has those badges to open the doors. There's cameras, there's security. And this person, this man, entered the hospital. He has not been seen since. So another, you know, obviously somebody knows exactly what's going on. They're trying to keep it quiet, but let me just read to you exactly what went down. The wife of a man who went missing after entering and leaving a Massachusetts hospital isn't giving up on the search. Leonard Mercury, that's his name, 57 years old. Leonard Mercury was last seen around 2 a.m. on October 31st, leaving Haywood Hospital in Gardner in the direction of a bike path, according to a missing person poster. So he actually left the hospital at 2 a.m. I mean, that day, the October 31st, we all know what happens on October 31st, right? And obviously this happened in 2025, last year. So he left at 2 a.m. October 31st, the Haywood Hospital in Gardner in the direction of the bike path, according to the missing person poster. Police noted, police noted that he is approximately 6 feet tall and weighs around 195 pounds. He was last seen wearing hospital clothing and no shoes. Police said that they were concerned for his well-being and believed that he might be in need of medical attention. Authorities added that community awareness and assistance was also crucial. More than 2 months since his disappearance, his wife Nicole said to the news that she has not given up on hope yet for his safe return, and that she often returns to Haywood Hospital to search for clues as to where her husband could have gone. And this is what she said, quote unquote. She said this to the press. He's not here, but then the question is, where is he? Where are you? She questioned, adding that she has been out here behind Haywood Hospital so many times. She shared that her husband was admitted to the hospital after facing mental health issues, and he was placed on a Section 12 mental health hold. Okay, so this is even more complicated for this hospital because I know, you know, when they have like a mental health unit at the hospital, they're keeping those patients safe there, and that is like an additional security, right? Uh, it's a higher security standard compared to everybody else because obviously they're there. From what I've seen, they're there because they're trying to keep them safe, right? So they're going to add extra security, extra staff, more doors to go by, right? More badges to press, more signing sheets and things like that. And this man left that unit at 2 in the morning wearing the hospital clothes. So they lost a patient basically. Let me continue to read, right? It says here that he was put in Section 12 mental health hold. She said hours later, police came to her door and told her that her husband went missing from the hospital. This is what she said. That's when they told me that he broke the window. She recalls explaining that she has also been told that he has somehow managed to get on the roof of the hospital, jump up to the ground, and then run into the woods. It's not like there was you know, it's not like what I just said, like they lost a patient. This man broke out from the hospital, right? So they didn't have enough security to deal with his condition that he broke a window, got into the roof of a hospital, and escaped. That's very wild, right there. And it's so terrifying that they didn't have enough staff, right? Especially when, like I said, mental health whole unit, from what I've seen, it has a very qualifiable staff people there to kind of sense the cues of somebody who can get violent, let's just say, who's gonna get psychotic, who's gonna have some mental breakdown, right? They put those people there that are struggling, right, to monitor their behavior, right, to keep them safe from themselves, safe from other people, from the community, to see how they react to some medication, right, and to kind of just monitor their behavior. So even so, he broke out and broke the window and left. I still feel like there's a big responsibility, obviously, on the hospital and the staff that was there that day. Let me continue to read. His disappearance prompted a search from the Garner Police Department and volunteers who have searched the woods near the hospital and parts of a nearby lake there's a nearby lake, in order to find clues as to why it might have happened to him. The wife, launched a GoFundMe account to raise money to hire a private investigator to join the search. The website said that since his disappearance, they say, quote unquote, our family has been living in heartbreak and uncertainty, not knowing if he is safe, if he is hurt, or where he might be. And the private investigator said he only had on hospital pants and a shirt, so he wasn't well insulated. You will have to look at hypothermia right away. We're trying to just clear this area to give the family answer that he's not here. He said that the search has not garnered any clues as to where he have gone. Wow, this is very terrifying. I mean, like I said, from what I've seen, I have gone to, every hospital is different, right? But when you go to a hospital, And you see like there's like a special unit, right? I mean, there's special units for a lot of things, obviously, as we know. But in the unit for mental health, like I said, the whole objective is to keep them safe, right? And it's an additional security, right? There's an additional there's more staff than maybe another area. And this man escaped, so he was definitely in a, I don't know, I'm not a medical person, but for him to break the window and escape, right? Go through the roof and escape and jump out wearing the hospital clothing, right? And then, like I said, like who was monitoring him to not even sense that he can get really violent and he can really, he can get violent and he might, hurt other people. Because when they notice something like that, right? That's why they have a lot of staff so they can react before something happens. So, the security would have been placed there at maybe at his room or outside his room just to kind of keep a watch on him. It's just wow. It's been so long to like no October 31st, and it's January. Like it's been so many months already, and it's so sad because he was there to get treatment, to get the help that he needed, and how can they not at 2 a.m. How far did he got? Everything's closed at 2 a.m., right? And like it's such a big mystery, right? So I'm gonna put the GoFundMe, guys. The wife is doing GoFundMe to get to continue to work with the private investigator, right? To get answers as to what happened to him. But you need to understand, like, this is so strange. At 2 a.m., he breaks out of the hospital, and they are not able to find him. Like, and I'm just thinking now, you know what just came to my mind? Because this happened on the October 31st, and he's wearing hospital clothes, right? People, people dress up as hospital staff for Halloween, right? Um, so he could have just blended in very easily too. I don't know. That just came to my mind. Blending in meaning like nobody would have questioned, oh, there's a man over there wearing hospital gown, right? And people are like, yeah, but it's Halloween. Like, why is that rare? That's the point that I was trying to say. Um, Let me read what some of the comments says here. This is very sad for everybody involved. Unbelievable that the hospital is not helping more on tracking or taking any responsibility, and I do agree with that. Another person said, this is very disturbing. I cannot get my head around this. How is the hospital not responsible? Another one said, I pray that he's found soon in good health. And then another person said, prayers that he's found soon. Sue the hospital, somebody said. And then it says here, and like, no one's looking for such things either. They could be taking people over and no one would notice. Why? Because, I don't know what that comment is. I'm sorry. So, this is very strange. And like I said, this happened October 31st. They searched the area. There is a lake nearby. They searched everything. They say that he might be disoriented, right? You need to understand this man was in a mental health hold at a hospital, right? How does I'm trying to understand how did this what I mean, was it like a medication reaction? Was this his behavior? Did he will get like violent and just try to escape everywhere? Because if this was noted on his chart, right, on his medical review, that this man, once he gets upset or something, he will get violent and try to escape by any means, right? Um, why wasn't he put with traditional security, right? additional like staff. Also, I know that a lot of these hospitals, they see I mean, they have like protection in the windows too. So let me just, my timing here. Let me just see this again because this is very rare, you guys. I'm gonna be putting his picture. I'm sure I already did after I edit this video. His name is Leonard Mercury, 57 years old. He was last seen around 2 a.m. on October 31st, leaving the Haywood Hospital in Garner in the direction of a bike path. According to police, he's 6 feet tall and weighs around 195 pounds. So he was admitted to the hospital after facing mental health issues, and he was placed on a Section 12 mental health hold. She said hours later, police came to her door and told her that the husband went missing from the hospital. That's when they said that he broke the window. That he could also have been told that he somehow managed to get on the roof of the hospital, jump to the ground, and then run into the woods. That's a very, like, just even reading that, you're gonna break a window, right? Was it a glass window? Did he get any cuts on him? Right? You're gonna jump through the roof of a hospital, jump down, and like it's almost like you see those things like in movies. That's why I went back and read it again because I'm like, this is very crazy. We pray that he's found safe. And like I said, you guys, I'm running out of time here. I'm gonna put the GoFundMe link. If you feel led to donate, you can do so. You can also share the link on your social media platforms, and you can also pray that he's found safe, that somebody will recognize him, and will call the authorities, right? That he's found safe. He obviously was dealing with something very heavy, right? For him to have these outbursts like that. So let me know, guys, what you think about this. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to the channel. Thank you to everybody who is listening and watching on the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.